With the Rocket League Pro scene almost being 9 years old at the time of this video, it's been home to thousands and thousands of different tournaments ranging from S tier to weekly tournaments hosted by organizations, and with those tournaments come the teams that compete in them. Of course, there are the teams that are dominant, funny, terrible, and everything in between in all of these tournaments. Still, some teams had their moments under the shining lights, teams that had that one tournament run that immortalized their names in RL esports folklore. So, since I've been swimming in Wikipedia like a shark smelling blood for the last 4 years, I've gotten a solid list of 3 teams that I felt were forgotten in the whole community, and to make the video more fun, let's touch on their moment in shining lights, their best tournament run. These are 3 forgotten RLCS teams and their best tournament runs. Before we start this video, please subscribe. I am so close to 1,000 subs, and that's my goal for the end of the year. And also, if we hit 50 likes, then I will do another video of 3 forgotten RLCS teams, because of course there's so many teams that could be forgotten. So let me know in the comments any other suggestions on what teams I could talk about. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. White Demons was announced by Spanish player CRR on October 31st of 2020. Teaming with Spanish player Dedede and German Ghostfire, they would have a string of lackluster performances, including getting 16th in the RLCS Season X Winter Regional Event 3. This would result in them releasing Ghostfire for fellow German Tigre, and with the signing of Tigre, they would immediately improve, resulting in their best tournament run in the RLCS Season X Spring Regional Event 2. In this event, there were 4 groups of 5 teams, a knockout gauntlet, and playoffs that followed to complete the event. This wasn't their first time making it here. Their last attempt ended with a 2-2 record in Group D with a series record of 6-8, followed by a lower bracket run beating Galaxy Racer and Top Blokes in Game 5. This win would land them a spot in the playoff bracket as the 8th seed, where they would get swept by Team BDS, a team that was eating Europe for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they were looking to bounce back from a harsh series against Team BDS. Luckily, they don't have to go through the close qualifiers since they got top 8 in the last event, giving them an automatic spot in the next regional event. The tournament starts in Group A as White Demons draws a group with Team BDS, Top Blokes, Tryhard Esports, and Wolves Esports, where they weren't really expected to do much in the group. They weren't expected top 2, of course. They were expected to make it out of the group either 3rd or 4th. But after a 2-0 start where White Demons nearly got reverse swept by Tryhard and convincingly swept Wolves Esports, they had the chance to make top 2 with a game against Top Blokes.
CRR, the double tap, going for the bump, and missed there from the defender. So it's going to float out in front of net. A bump as well. Tigre shoots it in the vacancy. What a play.
Oh my.
They would win this series 3-1, giving them a 3-0 record, automatically qualifying them to the upper bracket portion of the knockout bracket. They would get swept by BDS again, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. They got 2nd, so good for them. Now to the knockout gauntlet, where we have an upper bracket round and 2 lower bracket rounds. In the first upper bracket round, we got Rix.GG against White Demons, where in a hard fought series, they would nearly reverse sweep them, but Rix.GG barely got away with it, scoring 1 goal in Game 5 to move on to the playoffs, which left White Demons to go down to the lower bracket round 2 against a prime guild roster with Tho, Devo, Nolly, and Gregan, and beat them in a reverse sweep.
Video feature on this game right here, and that's an own goal! Devo off of Tho, and White Demons bury guild,
giving them a spot in the playoffs, not as the 8th seed, but as the 7th seed, going against Team Liquid, a team that topped their group going 3-1 and sweeping the soon-to-be champions in the knockout bracket to make it to the playoffs. They were 2 series away from a finals appearance, and thankfully, they got hot at the right time.
The trenches like they had to. CRR, high shot speed. Couldn't get there, but the crossbar helped him out. Still, it's in trouble. Dorito sets one up for Tigre. Underneath, he gets it. White Demons strike first.
You start to think and believe in this Team Liquid squad, but hold on a second. Might speak too soon. CRR in the first 15 seconds for White Demons gets them on track.
CRR got the save, and Dorito with a crucial follow-up for White Demons. But Fruity has the shot. Nobody's home. It's open season. 2-2. Wow. And that was, that defense started so good with CRR's block and then Doritos follow up, but then the rotation broke down. CRR puts the team on his back. Dorito confirms the goal, and it's 3-2 for White Demons.
What a maniac coming out the sidewall, gets over speed, gets over Rodiki with the second touch. In fact, I think it gives benefit to White Demons and what they're trying to do. Here's the second touch from CRR. Down and away to tie it up. This man has been phenomenal this series.
They've just been trading clears back and forth. CRR finally finds the hole. Speed is nowhere close to make that save.
I think that's what happens. Oh, Speed might get one off the kickoff here. Yes, sir. And it goes. Speed gets his team back on top. But Team Liquid here getting that kickoff goal will completely deflate White Demons. And hold on a second, maybe another kickoff goal. All right, all tied up.
What happens when you nail all three?
Yeah, you know.
I guess that's a hat trick. We literally have a name for it.
Well, we'll see on this kickoff. I would hope that that doesn't happen again, Chorby. Hopefully we can clean up the kickoff. Oh my.
Ready?
Oh no.
Ready?
He's gonna do it to him. He's
Ready?
gonna
He did it again! CRR Ace Combat, third kickoff goal in a row.
Oh, and it was so smart too.
They would beat Liquid in 5 games, sending them to the semifinals against a prime Solary team with Farah, Chaussette, and Astral, where they would get knocked out of the tournament in 5 games, ending 3rd to 4th in the event. This would be their highest ever finish in their RLCS history. As they made it to the European Major, they would bomb out of the group going 0-4, and they would later compete in other tournaments throughout the year, but originally, Aether was formed by Alex161, Sweaty, and Yukio back in October of 2017. They would compete in small Gfinity tournaments for those 2 months and disband before 2018. Fast forward to 2021 when Yukio revives Aether with Tox and Ixo to compete in the RLCS X Spring Regionals. They would start the first tournament making an impressive top 8 finish, barely losing to Vodafone Giants. They would follow that up, getting dead last in the next regional tournament, going 1-3 in a Colossus group with Vitality, Liquid, Endpoint, and a prime Alantide Wave roster. This leads us to the RLCS Season X Spring Regional Event 3, where they were looking to try to make it out of the group and get something better than 17th to 20th. Aether would draw a group with Solary, Dignitas, White Demons, and Howard. They were definitely doubted going into this event after finishing dead last in the last regional, but they were looking to bounce back, and they did so in a huge way.
Going in, Toxic again, shooting wide, but Yukio gets the chance. The bottom corner is found unattended.
They would start the event swinging haymakers, going undefeated in their group, the only team to do so in the whole event. They would have an easy matchup against Wolves Esports after they got second in their group, overtaking the reigning regional champions.
To the field, and to tell you what, these double challenges are working out well for both teams. The 50-50s are turning into 67-33s. Is Coxer going to catch this? No, he's not. It's in for Tox. And all it took was one slow rotation. Cox had absolutely no boost to play with.
This win would give them the 3rd seed in the tournament to go up against Galaxy Racer after they survived the series against Dignitas. In a very close series, they would win out in 6 games.
We'll be going through to the major, to the semis, and Ixo starts them off with fire.
Sending themselves to the semifinals against BS Plus, who won against the defending regional champions in 7 games. They would have a tough matchup here, going all the way down to Game 7.
Just get as aggressive as they can in the midfield with that second player and leave the 3rd man deep.
So they're trying to combine the aggression of game number 1 with the cleanness of the last few games, but no, Yukio on a just small whiff in the goal will get goal number 1. Aether have scored first in game 7. Godsmill incoming, will have to break the trend. Chronic pass 1. Rotating onto this, pass to Godsmill, shoots well, all behind the rotating in defense, we're tied up. Put it onto the backboard, that demolition on the Tox will open up some space. Freaky down to Godsmill, he gets past the front line, but he has to go to the corner. And now the back pass to a Chronic. Up against Ixo, shoots the far post. They pull the defense left, right, create the opening and take the lead. They've got to be productive. They can't afford to lose the challenge. You go through 1, looking for the bump to the Chronic. Tox puts it up low, Ixo's got an open net, up for 90, tie game.
Oh my my goodness. How does Yukio win that ball through Godsmilla? Godsmilla didn't even get a piece of him. I thought that was the end right there, and a Chronic obviously has to dive at that shot from Tox. What was happening during regulation gets started again. It was really, like you said, pulling them left and right and stealing all their boost. Floater towards the right side of the net, Godsmilla in time, and a Chronic with a little space comes up big. Empty Eeks on the Tox. Right side, down in. Aether are gonna go to the grand finals.
Fortunately, they would win this game 7 and move on to the grand final against a guild roster that completely torched Wolves and BDS in the quarterfinals and semifinals, and we're not going to stop with Aether in the way. So they won the tournament. Aether getting second place in this event put them on the map and got them signed to SK Gaming, where they represented them in the European Spring Major, where they would get a top 4 finish. Savage was created by Devo and Bluey on June 26 of 2016, only for it to die 43 days after creation because other than Devo and Bluey being a part of the team, they were not able to find a third to compete in RLCS. They would go their separate ways till after the 5th season of RLCS, where both players played in the European group stage, Devo for Envy and Bluey for PSG. Though Envy made the Worlds that season, they would drop their roster right after the Worlds event. For Bluey, after PSG missed Worlds that season, he would get benched in place for Danish player Fruity. Now with both players in free agency, this was their chance to finally give Savage a try and see if they can get a third. Thankfully this time they would find their third with an unknown French player named Alpha 54, who had only competed in one event leading up to him joining the roster. With this roster, they would finally get the chance to compete under the Savage banner, competing in the 6th season of RLRS, which is the 2nd division where the top 2 teams have a chance to qualify for the RLCS. They would have a great showing in the RLRS, going 6-1, only losing to 2nd place team Rep Reserve. This performance helped them get invited to the DreamHack Pro Circuit Leipzig European Closed Qualifier. Jesus, that's a mouthful. One of 4 huge tournaments being held in 2019, the DreamHack Pro Circuit would be home to one of the most consistently stacked tournaments of 2019, with $100 prize pools for each tournament. You qualify for this, you're going against the best Rocket League has to offer. And unfortunately, they would lose in the closed qualifier to MCon Esports and the Big Sack Madem. Jesus. Giving them no chance to qualify for the tournament is what I would say if they didn't have open signups for teams that didn't make the cut in the closed qualifiers. And Savage took full advantage of this, putting themselves into the tournament. Savage was placed in Group A with Cloud9, Rogue, G2, Veloce, Exalti, Mindset, and War Kids. One of the more lighter groups out of the 4, with Group C being the toughest group out of the 4. By the way, I'm doing this by Wikipedia's rankings from February of 2018. Had to go digging for this in the web archives. Wikipedia, for the love of God, please fix your shit. Why does it say dummy? Anyway, Savage would lose their first match of the group stage, dropping them into the lower bracket, win or go home against War Kids. They would win convincingly and set a date with Veloce, who got swept by G2 in the upper bracket. Winner qualifies for day 2 of the event, where Savage would sweep Veloce with a Game 3 OT win, sending themselves to day 2. In day 2 of the event, teams were placed in groups again, but this time in 2 groups since only 16 teams qualified for day 2. Though Savage got very lucky with the path that they got, it would only get harder landing in the group of death, with 4 teams ranked in the top 10, 3 of which in the top 5. They would start their journey against 5th ranked Flipside Tactics, who were fresh off of a win in a big tournament of their own at the World Showdown of Esports 4, where they would win against the best teams in the world. Savage would 3-1 them, sending Flipside to the lower bracket, and Savage up to the upper bracket semifinal against the best team in the world at the time, Cloud9. They were the favorites to win the whole tournament, and whoever wins this goes to day 3 as the number 1 seed in the final playoff bracket.
A amazing roster and very, very skilled. I got to sit on the side of Cloud9. That's one of those, it's just, you know, as the new guy, you can't go against a team as formidable as Cloud9.
Savage do their thing, making a lot of good saves. But are Savage going to misplay right now? You know, they might be double committing, but they're recovering so fast it doesn't really matter. There's the first goal for Alpha 54. Cloud9 behind inside the first 2 minutes.
And the Cloud9 are starting to slowly creep forward.
Love that positioning from Torment as well. He was in a very awkward 2v1. Came out on top. Still though, Savage are creating so many chances. Alpha into the middle. And it looks like it's bounced off a Cloud9 player. Half the game gone. They're on their last legs in the winner's bracket.
Gonna go long. Squishy can't ever get to that one.
Devo.
Double attack. That's going to be dropped back down. Devo! That is an absolutely phenomenal play. Savage, welcome to the upper echelon of Rocket League.
Torment had no idea.
3-0. They 3-0'd Cloud9. Savage are just on another level for this tournament. With this win, they would qualify for Day 3 as the #1 seed in the playoff bracket, matching up with the 7th ranked G2 roster that were coming from the lower bracket of Group B after beating Bread in a convincing series. Winner of this moves on to the semifinals.
Savage are going to be as close to every single touch as they possibly can be. No room to breathe when they get into their rhythm. They're about to set it up now. Devo has the opportunity to score, and Savage with the perfect start. Alpha hasn't got the boost to follow that. Devo off the back foot. Here comes Alpha again, and that's a phenomenal save. Keeps it out of the net. Keeps us to a 1-0 difference, but Chicago levers a shot into the net. There is no saving that one. Uber.
Chicago was so quick to get up there and shut down Blue's double touch. You would put money on Blue scoring from that range. Rizzo has put it in his own net. Alpha gets the credit. And it looks like Rizzo may have had boost problems in this play. Funnily enough, I don't think Savage are getting to play their game in the way that they love to play. They've got the win anyway. Double touch, J-Naps off the ceiling, and he puts it past Savage for a 5-second goal. And that's a rebound off the ceiling. J-Naps with a huge play to start off game 2.
And once again, J-Naps just covers the angle. He doesn't try to get there first. He's just making sure that you can't put the ball anywhere. But Alpha, monster flick, and it's going to ricochet off the crossbar.
Alpha 54 with a huge play and the pressure that was put on G2 by that monstrous acceleration that he applied to the ball.
Higher success rate on getting the ball down the rest of the side of the field. Going to be played in, and Bluey with a rocket to the side of the net.
What a dunk by Bluey, though, almost winning the game for Savage.
It's chaos right now, and we would have it no other way. Off the side of the wall. Chicago's touch. It's inviting for Alpha!
And with that OT goal, Savage move on to the semifinals to face Dignitas, ranked 3rd in the world after they had swept Team Echo Zulu, who was another team that had an improbable run, ranked 40th out of 45 teams. They made top 8, which is insane. This semifinal series will be played in a best of 7, with the series going down to the wire. Game 7 would decide the first grand finalist of the event.
Is it dangerous? Devo just gets some slight contact, and now we go to the other side. Bluey, he can double tap! Go for Bluey! 1-0 Savage!
What a play by Bluey! Starts this double touch on the halfway line, but no one in the venue has a shadow of a doubt that he's gonna score.
Devo to take control. Here's Vina Panda with Yukio. Yukio puts it up high, and Turbo might turn around for this one. It's gonna be open, it's gonna be available, and it's gonna be a goal! Devo over to Alpha. Alpha cuts her in! Alpha is announcing himself to the world!
On his land debut, Alpha 54 absolutely slams this one into the corner. Now they get a second chance to hold on to a 1-goal lead.
Panda putting up high early, follows it up, and that leaves it not as long.
Well, maybe 3rd time lucky for Savage. Violent Panda's not gonna give him any chance at this one.
Kept out. Huge opportunities here for Savage. Over the top, Turbo to Yukio. They're gonna try and break.
Yukio tries to find Panda in the middle. It's back to Yukio for the win! Dignitas are into the grand final!
Unfortunately, with that goal, they would lose in Game 7 OT, ending their magical run throughout the tournament. This result would put Savage on the map though, getting picked up by FC Barcelona after they qualified for the ESL Masters España Season 5 tournament, with Bimetos playing in for Alpha 54 for that specific tournament, later becoming a substitute for the team. They would compete in the RLCS, making it to the top 8 of the world after they lost to Cloud9 in one of my favorite series of all time. I did a whole video about it, I'll leave it in the eye. And yeah, that's the end of this video, and if you want, you should definitely check out my other videos if you're interested in Rocket League content, and comment down below what other teams you think have been forgotten by the community. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Here's a random goal from this video from all the tournaments. I just picked out a random one.
Devo again, kept it in the zone at least. There's still life. Tigre calling it himself. No, Dorito, it's on the goal line and in.
They just keep pushing, Sacks. Tigre did not win.